Today's coffee painting is of Dylan Wang. He's very well known. I first saw him in Meteor Garden, and then I saw him again in The Rational Life. So the thing about painting in coffee is you can't take it back. You can't take any of your strokes back. There's no way to erase it. And for the most part, you can't paint over it. You can a little bit, but you just basically have to live with the strokes that you've made. And I am using my ucreate sketchbook here. This is regular sketchbook paper. The coffee is, of course, water-based, but it does not seep through too badly. And I just enjoy making quick sketches in my sketchbook using a very simple paintbrush and the coffee as a medium. So if I use a lot of coffee, the paintbrush can retain it and can put in a very dark area if that's what I need it to do. And then later for the lighter areas, I can just take a little bit of coffee if that's what I want. And of course, whenever I make a mistake, I just have to keep going. You know, it's one of those things where there's not a lot of correction available. The only thing I can correct with is by painting over darker. But I can't erase it. I can't make it lighter. I don't have anything to put white over the dark. So I have to kind of remember that if I want a certain area to be highlighted, I need to not paint over it. Dylan Wang has these sort of rising eyebrows, and I enjoyed making those. He has very delicate features. He's an unusually skinny young man. He's elongated. Every part of him seems to be sort of longer and leaner. And I think the delicate features and all of that are part of the reason that he's a heartthrob among viewers, Chinese viewers, as well as foreign viewers. In Meteor Garden, he played the bad boy. In The Rational Life, he plays the younger man, but he's very charming, very nice, very kind and helpful. So it's kind of the opposite of the character that he was playing in Meteor Garden. Okay, so what I did here is I made the left eye, which is the one that we see on the right side of the picture, a little bit smaller than the right eye, which is the one I'm painting right now. You can call that a mistake. It might be a perspective thing, but I also saved that other eye, the one that's smaller, so that I could create a highlight in it by painting around. You'll see later. And of course, if you're Chinese, you might not have an upper crease on your eye, but you definitely have a lower crease, and it's important to put those in because that adds a little bit of realism. Of course, the style of the sketch is almost like a comic book style, so it's not meant to be entirely realistic. There's a very dark shaded area here between the two lips. And here I'm trying to do a little bit of shading at the edges of his cheeks without using too much, because I'm not going to be able to erase if I put in too much. There is a bit of a problem with the left ear. It's not quite symmetrical. It seems a little bit out of place. That's not a problem that Dylan Wang has. It's a problem with my painting, but you have to persevere. You have to just let it happen the way it happens. And of course, his hair is very nice. It's got an interesting haircut there. And with the hair, what I do is I just add the darker areas, and when I add the darkness, that creates both shading and highlights, because the areas that I don't make darker seem like they might be highlighted. Now that ear is not completely salvageable, but I do the best I can there. Shading on the side of the nose, a little bit more shading on the cheek and on the other cheek. I always find that the jawline needs to be a little bit stronger, and I can correct the jawline. And there's your Adam's apple. Because he's so delicate, you might think he's a woman, but when you see that Adam's apple, that's a good sign that, in fact, he is a man, not a woman. A little bit more hair there. And this is where I go and add a little to this eye, which came out smaller. I'm trying to find a way to highlight the other eye, but what I do is when I expand the left eye, you get a kind of highlight effect over there. Here I go in for that eye. So you see now, when I closed it in and I left a white part, that's the highlight in the eye. I wasn't able to do much with the other eye except to try to create a dim highlight by making certain areas darker than others. And here I'm going into the hair, adding a little bit more shading there. Just trying to make it a little more textured. I'm afraid to shade too much on the cheeks, but he definitely has good facial structure. So this kind of a sketch is, it's not a painting that you're going to hang on your wall, but it might make a nice contribution to a fan page. It might make a nice short, just showing how I painted when I do a speed painting video. But I wanted to show you in real time what it looks like, when I'm not hurried and I'm just sketching in my sketchbook. So we're going to add a little bit of shading to the lower lip so that we can see, the highlighted parts come out at us. Adding a little bit of darker area here at the roots of the hair. And a stray hair there, stray lock of hair. Sometimes it's hard to know when to stop, when you're really done, because you don't want to put in too much. But some of these touches, these last minute touches, are what helps to make it seem like it's a finished product. Okay, so the portrait is signed, and here on the left you can see one of two speed painting versions that I published as a short or as a reel. And when that one is done, then you'll see on the right hand side what it looked like in my phone when I was making it into a speed painting short. And you can see just how much time it took. So it was about, I think 10 minutes and 25 seconds is what it ended on. If you enjoyed this painting session, please like and subscribe.